All right, is this thing on? Is this thing on? Hey, welcome. I think this is day 3 of the vibe coding exercise. I didn't do it yesterday, and I'm a bit late because I spent some time working through the Flutterflow university tutorials. Not a fan, you guys. Like somebody else out there must have better tutorials for Flutterflow than their university. It takes way too long to get into anything meaningful. I think just about every developer or anyone learning how to build an app, the thing that really gets you into it is just building an app. And like you just want to dive in, you want to make something, you want to be able to look at something and be proud of something. And this spends so many videos just talking about the fundamentals of this, the fundamentals of that, stuff you're not going to get to for a long time and that you don't need to figure out for a while. And we have a intro with the co-founder. Why do I care? Um, the audio is even really not good. Fundamentals of front end development. I mean, I suppose that's a little bit useful. It talks about the ideas like components versus widgets. But then they talk about atomic design, which is like the same thing. So, design principles, collaborative development, how branching works, etc. I ended up starting at Kickstarting projects, which wasn't even that much. And the only thing really of value was actions and triggers. But your mileage may vary, but if you're going to get into this, I would start at number 6 and then maybe go back to those first ones. But even better, go find a different tutorial, buy a third party. It'll probably be better. But this just really fits with my criticism of the user experience for Flutterflow. It feels like the team over there doesn't understand like what makes Webflow good, what makes it super usable. They're like, it feels like they're copying it without understanding what makes it good. Anyway, okay, so we're still looking at our component or our app from the last time, and maybe I can make things go a little bit farther this time. So app values, which is interesting, data types, Firestore. How do I make components? Thought I knew how to do this. This should be a component. Okay, that's a widget. Here's our actions for the widget. Queries, documentation. And then we also have values, which is something I learned a little bit about. App values. So I think basically what this might look like is master volume. Add app variable state, master volume, or enter field name. Master volume. And then this should probably be an integer, I think. It's percentage. I don't know what a double is. Yes, we want it to be saved. Huh. Wait, did that go away? Did I hit refresh accidentally? Okay. Master volume. And why is that called double? Should just say percentage, right? Oops. Plug the power in here. In the middle of the stream. Okay, well, hopefully this doesn't die on me for some reason. Man, the thing about Apple products is they are so finicky about the chargers. Even though I'm using an Apple, the charger that came with the laptop, sometimes they're just like, "Oh, we're not going to charge right now," for no reason. Um, there's something wrong with your cable. We don't want to charge it right now. There's nothing wrong with my cable. Okay, well, hopefully it doesn't die. Hopefully it'll just run on the power. So persisted is a list. I don't think we're a list here. Double. Okay. This should be a percentage, I think. Default value. Let's just make it like 90. And then let's see. It says numbers, so that makes me think. Primitive data types, doubles. Doesn't say. I know what booleans are. I know what strings are. I know what integers are. Oh, double. Okay, no. Scientific computations, etc. So that's like a much more specific number. We don't need that. This should just be an integer. So let's go ahead and trash this. Make sure. List. Nope. Persisted. 80. I think we said 90%, right? Okay, I don't know what it means by device versus project. Hopefully it means, on your local storage. None of this information is super sensitive. Data types. Okay. Okay, this is a slider, right? So preview app. It should just like at least be a slider that I can drag. Okay, that's good. At least that's good. Okay. Add an action. Widget UI interactions. Drawer. Define action. Maybe the action happens here. Add action. I mean, the action there is pretty simple. What's the action block? I don't know. Okay, so add an action, add a conditional action, add a loop. Okay, so I just want to, you know what, let's add a new widget here and let's make it master volume. Homepage. Where's our widgets? Slider. We're going to say, just going to say container, oops. So we're going to wrap in a row. And then we will add, it's the same idea. Is there an icon here? If image, oh, here we go, icon. And can we choose this icon? Come on. Come on, hovers. Oh, here it is, down here, arrow back. What was I doing? Volume, mute. Dude, I wonder if there, oh, this must be the free font. Awesome. We're going to just use the default ones here. And then this, can we say this fills? There we go. And then this widget. Here we go. We should be able to. Oh, there's no draggable states to this? Okay. Oops. Actually make that 12. And actually, we need to make that not an icon, but a button. Icon button. Here we go. And fill color, unset. Border color, unset. Heck. Row. Okay. There's the row. And initial value will be 9. Size 0.1. Maximum. And let's say maximum is 100. Size is 1. Width, can I just say full? Oh. Oh my goodness. Okay. Never mind then. Color. Icon color. Primary. And I don't want an arrow. We wanted volume. Remember? Go. Default should be 90. There we go. Row. Okay. And do we want to convert this to a component? Let's do that. Master volume. Okay. Cool. And then is that a component here? Master volume. Okay. I mean, that's nice. And then can we add actions to this? Local component state variables. Okay. How do we... Well, let's preview this. Let's just see if that works, how we want it to. Where's the preview button? Here we go. Da, 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 da. All right, so we're just working on the master volume here. Okay, that's working. So what's our next step here? I think our next step would be loading a sound and seeing if that master volume works. So what I've done is I've loaded a bunch of sounds into Dropbox. Oh my goodness, I did it again. I've not been sharing my screen. My goodness. Did it again. I've not been sharing my screen. So basically what I did is I created a new row here, and then I added a slider to that row, and then I added an icon to that row, and I'm thinking through how do we turn these into actions? And so that component is now here on the home page. How do we turn this into an action? And my thought is that the next thing to do is figure out how to get a sound in here. And then once we have the sound in here, see if we can make this control the volume and turn it on and off. So let's go back to our widgets panel. Let's say audio player. Sure. Can I just, okay. Audio player. And then how do we, I feel like I don't care about animations. Okay, so here we do have a sample. Let's see what this sound is. I have to turn on my audio. Okay, that's great. It comes with a preloaded sound, so I don't have to worry about that. So that's good. I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this slider here. And so what I want to do here is I want to set this to be the master volume. So first of all, let's just set it to, let's set the mute button. Can we set this to mute? So on action, add an action and say audio. See, I don't want to stop sound. I want to volume. Mute. Play sound, stop sound, start audio recording, stop audio recording. Come on, mute. There's no mute action. State management. Create a new action. Okay, I'm not up for this. If I'm gonna do this, I'm just gonna try and learn Flutter. So I don't know Dart. I don't know Dart. Volume down. Okay, that's the icon. Don't care about the. Well, I guess we try it. Custom action. So we try on tap, mute, volume, audio. I'm going to chat GPT this real quick. I don't think I'm logged in on this browser, unfortunately. So Flutterflow, mute app. Want to mute all app sounds such as audio. Here's how you can approach it. Create an app state variable. Okay. Add a new Boolean variable is muted. Oh, okay. Okay, so if you want to use, so there's three options here. Add a mute toggle using state, stop all audio manually, which is if you're using third-party custom code, or use an audio manager. You need to export the project and add native code. I guess our only option here is really the app state variable. So to do that, I think what we need to do is go to app state. There we go. Oh, we already did this master volume, but we need to add one for master mute. And then we make that a Boolean. Persisted. Yes, it's persisted. No, it's not a list. And then default value is not muted. And then we have to go to, how do we create this state? We got the toggle button. Okay, so now the action that we have to have is update app state. Oh, okay. Update app state. And oh, I have no idea if this needs to rebuild all pages or not. Let's just say yes for now. Update app state. Oops. And then we add field, master volume, Boolean, and toggle value. Yep. And then I guess we have to toggle this to bind the volume. This is supposed to get it's supposed to get its own volume, but I guess what we have to do is how do we do this? Bind the volume. Audio options. Enabled. So we do want this to play in background, because what if you go away from this app and the component. Wait, is that, wait, do we update the component state? Is that what we do? How did we do this before? Master volume, define action on tap, update app state, and then define action. Only do a block. Goodness. Master volume. Okay. Set value. Increment, decrement. Probably. Let's preview this. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's like a rock and roll track. Okay, so it's updating the state of the app, but I have to somehow tie the volume to this audio file, I guess. Audio player. App level. Create an action block. Okay, I think we got to do this. Audio. We're just going to call this rock music because I don't want to get this confused. Okay, add action. Add parallel action. Define parameters. How do I... Asking it how I bind the volume. Is it saying I need to bind the volume? Go to left menu, app state. Okay, I did that. Is muted. Type Boolean. In the properties panel. in the properties panel. Look for the volume field. This is the properties panel, right? Yeah, properties. I see audio options. Audio player properties. Is this it? I mean, there's... Okay, so these are all appearance properties. Audio type, network. Can we... Source... It's just not... Maybe I need to go to the... No. Delete this component. We can come back to that if we need to. Okay, I guess we do a conditional action then. Get an action block. This called channel. Call it channel volume, and let's see if we can allow this to happen across multiple. Should be an integer, and there also should be a Boolean. Okay, add an action. Actually, let's just go ahead and add a conditional action. Let's say app state. No. Toggle is muted. Wait, do we do it on this? Okay, update Matt's toggle value. Okay. And then what do? We add conditional. Add conditional. Okay. My goodness. Why is it using a different interface? Okay. Okay, let's just work on the unmute one first. Crash. Delete. Then we add a conditional, right? Well, I mean, I guess update app state should be a conditional, right? action, update app state. Add an action, update app state. Okay, so I'm just reading through the chat GPT options here. Update app state. Toggle is muted. Okay, toggle value, master mute. And add a conditional action. Use add conditional. Add conditional. Okay. Condition. And then we say condition mute. Master mute is true. Add action. Okay, so this should be add action. Update state. Volume. Custom actions. Okay. Create new action. I see. Uh, Like, here's my thing with Flutterflow is that if you're going to learn this, how is you not just better off learning to code Flutter? I think that's probably more straightforward. And especially if you're going to be using an AI tool anyway, why wouldn't you just use Flutter to do that? Oh, do we want to use AI generation? Component page generate with AI. Okay, create a page. Okay, create a component. With what was it? 12 different audio files playing. Each has their own volume control and mute icon. Also create a master volume control and mute icon. Let's see. Hopefully it gives us a new page. Come on. Come on. I mean, this is fair, actually. Even if this takes 20 minutes and it works, it's definitely worth it, right? Even if it takes like 24 hours and it works, it's probably worth it. But I don't have very high expectations. I think if it does work, the good thing about it is going to be that think the good thing about it is just its nature is that it's code based, or like it'll have actions that you can edit, as opposed to like Lovable, where I don't think you can. I think you can go in and you can edit the code, but you can't edit like actions. You have to rely on the interface to do that for you. And in my experience with Lovable and other things like it, when I've played with it in the past, the more you coach them, the more wrong they get. Like they're usually pretty right at first, but then when you keep coaching them towards what you want, they just start getting stuff wrong. And I don't know if that's because, like, my hunch is that it's because the app doesn't know anything's wrong, like it assumes things are good. And so instead of fixing problems that you're identifying or making changes that you're identifying, it like, well, okay, I think that might go both ways. I think sometimes you're identifying changes you want to make and it thinks you're asking it to fix problems when there's no problem. You just want to change. And I think sometimes you're telling it to fix a problem when it thinks you're giving it new features. That's the struggle I have with things like Lovable, those platforms. Oh, did it do it? Okay. So somehow it knew that I wanted it to be sounds like this. So yeah, let's go ahead and just, I mean, I don't care about the colors really. I mean, I actually like this one the most. All right, we're going to insert this page. Layer. I don't care. Don't care if we update the whole thing. Can't rate it yet when I don't know if it works. All right, let's check through these things one at a time. So we've got, let me mute my microphone, see if this works. Okay, so I got no audio here. And what are we got to be almost at an hour. Not even 50 minutes. Okay. But I did spend a bunch of time trying to. Why is this not in pages? Maybe let's work in this in a wider format. Ew. Ew. Gross. All right. Well, let's look into, do we even have an audio file here? We have a slider, but no audio linked to anything. So, that doesn't really solve a problem. It's again, just like everything else, it's just trying to create a nice looking interface. And the interface, I'm sorry, doesn't even look nice. Like all these tools are, in my opinion, crap. Like all of them are crap. All the AI generation tools are crap. Like Flutterflow might have something to it if you really dive deep, and you become very passionate about it. This could probably be pretty powerful, but from the documentation I was looking at, or I guess that's a strong word, but the chat GPT scanning of the documentation. It sounds like you're going to have to do custom code to get certain features you want anyway. So, how worth it is it to do it that way? I mean, maybe if they can just be done as custom actions, if you can do it all with, um, custom actions, maybe that's not so bad. But as soon as you have to start exporting code and changing things, you've lost the benefit of something like Flutterflow. And I haven't used Webflow actually in years, but that was one of the reasons I always stuck with just hard coding things, was because you like just simple things like button hovers you couldn't do back in the, or I guess you could, but there were certain, like, I don't think you could do animations on them or something, or if you did, you would have to go into the code, and then the properties panel wouldn't work with it, and it just made things difficult. And I'm sure they fixed that by now. I'm sure they fixed it by now, but it just took away a lot of the flexibility. And then if you wanted a blog, you had to pay them for that, when there's so many blogging platforms out there that are free. Like Statamic is great. A lot of people like Ghost. Anyway, I'm tangenting, but point is that all the AI generation tools seem to be focused on a cool looking interface that never looks cool and doesn't handle being responsive well. And also, they just don't tend to do what I want them to do. And I'll be real with you, this is not a complex set of asks. Like, this is a pretty simple app. So I think what I wanted to do here. All right, we're going to use files anyway. Point being, what I said there. Point being, I don't know how we're going on and on about this replacing developers, because it's just not even close yet. It's just not even close. Okay, what are the sounds we have? I mean, I'm just going to grab 12 different sounds. Copy link. Thunder. Wave crash. Crisp waves. Service bell. I use the service bell kind of for like wharf sounds. We'll just let it figure out what it wants to use where. Because I don't really care. Birds. What are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 12 here. Gentle rain. And hopefully it can scan that and see like gentle rain, heavy rain. But if not, I don't really care. I don't care if they're random for now. Campfire. Rowboat. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we need 2 more. I think I'm going to do airplane, even though, did I do airplane? Fine if we don't have it. I love airplane noises. I stayed at my friend's house one time, and she lived by the airport, and I left the balcony open, and I could just hear the planes coming in at O'Hare, and it just reminded me of like ocean waves. So I really really enjoyed that. And we've got underwater pool. And let's see if this works. Start audio engine. Let's see if this works. Okay. The audio files aren't loading. No, a lot of this I don't understand. So that's one of the nice things about this. Let's refresh it and give it a try again. Okay, well, I can't really blame Lovable for this issue. I thought that it would direct link the file in Dropbox, but instead it loads it to the player, which makes sense. You know, you can't download it unless you're logged in. Oh, wait, yeah, you can. Can I just copy this? No, it's probably JavaScript powered. Okay. Well, I think that I got to be done with this today. I will aim to upload these audio files to a server or something so that I can just directly grab them tomorrow. And I think we'll finish up with Lovable. I don't know that I have the energy to go through Flutterflow anymore. Like, my goal was to get something up by the end of the week, and today's Wednesday. And yeah, I kind of missed yesterday, which is on me. But I don't see that being like, I just don't see myself getting there with Flutterflow. Even if maybe if I took the whole week, maybe. I mean, the thing about Flutterflow that I want to learn is that they have an AI integration, which is what I have other app ideas based around. And I don't know how I would do that with like React or using Flutter directly. So maybe it's worth learning Flutterflow just for that. I don't know. I don't know. All right. I will think on that and hopefully have a stronger perspective on that tomorrow. But I think I'm done for today. Thank you.